So Mary, thank you for doing this interview, by the way. Um, a few years ago, you began to notice some changes in people that you in church that you've known for a long, long time, and you began to notice some changes in them. They seemed more, I don't know what the word might be, joyful or something like that. And when you asked them what had caused the difference, what did they say to you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I actually remember very clearly. I remember noticing a difference. There was a few people I noticed a difference in, and it was really, it was almost getting to me that I wasn't part of it. And I was feeling, what do they have that I don't have? So there was no better way than to go and ask them. So I asked the first person, and the answer they gave me was, well, I don't know, I just can't put words on it, which to me wasn't an answer. But later on, I understood why. But I went away, and then a while later, I decided there was another person who seemed to be like the first person. So I went to them and I said, can you please tell me, what is it that is different? And they gave me, which in my mind was a wishy-washy answer, I can't say, I just can't put words on it. So I went away again, and then weeks or whatever later, I went to a third person who I knew their history, and knowing them as well as I did, I saw a massive change in them, and they were the same as the first two people. So I went and I said, could you please tell me, what is it? And they started, first of all, to give an answer, and then they said, basically what it is I've put all my focus on Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I was, what? What does that mean? So whatever thought process they had, whatever hurts they had, everything, no matter what they had carried all their life, they were now turning it all back to God. And when those little thoughts came into their mind, they were turning their focus back to Jesus. And everything in their whole life had shifted. So this person to me was a new person.
Wow.
Yeah, huge. Like it was actually like night and day to me.
By bringing Jesus into the awareness of their life all the time. And so you saw something you liked and you wanted in them. What did you begin to do, or what did you begin to do differently after hearing what that person said?
Well, what I did differently, well, there was a lot of different things that come into this. So first of all, I was listening to your sermon, Sean, and the phrase that you kept using, think about your thinking, that really rang home true to me, and I started thinking about my own thinking on stuff. Then I joined Bobby's group, the C.S. Lewis book group, and there was amazing chat and talk and actual discussion and reading on it, and that really fed me as well. And added on to that, I actually started reading the Bible, which I've been a Christian for over 30 years now, and I started reading the Bible like I'd never read it before. And what I found was, I also was reading Hudson Taylor. So if you put all those in the pot together, mm-hmm. I was being filled from lots of different angles. But the one that really spoke the loudest to me was the Bible, right? Mm. And the reason was what I was learning from your sermon, from Bobby's house group, from Hudson Taylor, and from reading the Bible, I was taking it to the group I meet with on a Thursday night. And I could see myself, I was getting giddier by the week. I was getting excited more and more because I knew that there were changes coming in me, like that the excitement about Jesus was growing. So I was passing it on to my group. And then as the weeks went on, I saw them getting more excited. So it was like, it was just amazing.
It was like C.S. Lewis's good infection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It and for you, and maybe you've answered this question already, Mary, like what's different now? Like you loved Jesus before, you prayed before, you did read the Bible before, but now you're saying something's different. What has changed in you? Or what is the fruit of what's changed in you? Maybe that's if that makes any sense.
It does. I suppose the biggest thing for me was that, I mean, in all my years of reading the Bible, I was in and out of it. I never really committed to it because I wouldn't be a big reader, and I kind of used it as, well, I'm not a big reader, so God understands me as I am. So I often heard God talk to me through people, through things that happened. I heard, I had a sense of God a lot, and would have felt that a lot over the years. But something definitely changed, and I'm not sure what it was. But when I started reading the Bible to prepare for my Thursday night group, it was like the words actually became alive and they were jumping off the page. I couldn't get enough of it. And reading about Jesus and his life just suddenly seemed magical to me. And I just kept reading and reading. And the more I read, the closer I felt to God. So it was like everything piled in, and then this was the outcome of it.
Right. It's kind of like that I don't know if you remember that line from Hudson Taylor, where when he makes this discovery, he's a missionary in China, loves Jesus, but somehow understands the gospel so much more. And he says, "It is not new, but 'tis new to me."
Absolutely. And I remember reading that line and said, that's what it is.
Yeah. And isn't it so lovely? After all these years, there's more. We never get to the end of it. It's just so lovely.
Well, it kind of showed me, I mean, as I said, 30 years on, that God is very patient. So he really is. I'm not kidding. Like, he's really patient, because often I would walk through my living room where I keep my Bible, and it would be almost like I was walking like this, because I knew he was calling me to read it, but I was saying, do I really have to read it? But that's changed, definitely.
That's brilliant. And so, Mary, one last question, if you have time. Supposing you were to meet someone who was just like you were to meet them today, but they're just like you, the way you were like 5 years ago, before this happened. They love Jesus, they faithfully followed him, all that. What would you want to tell that person, or someone who's just interested in Jesus and knows a little bit about it? What would you want to tell them, like in just one or two sentences?
Yeah, there's a verse that stuck out to me in the Bible, and it's called it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me, right? And that verse is very meaningful to me. I genuinely feel when I say that every day as I start my day, that I ask the Holy Spirit in, right? And it's like you're opening yourself up every morning to allow the Holy Spirit in, and he's taking over to carry your thought process, your mindset, everything. And God is carrying you through your day in that. So I suppose for the new person, I'd say, don't wait and try to get all the answers. I'd say just open your heart and let him in. Amen. I really feel that I spent too many years going around in circles, and I wish I'd been at this point years ago.
Isn't it great?
Jump in.
Yeah, isn't it great being at this point now? That's for sure. And it's just really, really good news. Mary, thank you so much for sharing that. It's just a journey that we want more and more people in our community to experience, and more and more people in our city to experience. So, Mary, thank you for that story of encounter.
Thank you.